Hey everybody, it's Steve here, and welcome back to Super Mario All-Stars. I guess it's time to start this. Super Mario Brothers: The Lost Levels. Oh dear God, you can play as either Mario or Luigi. I think I've mentioned this before. Luigi, he jumps a little bit higher, but his skidding, he skids when he stops, and he can really skid quite far, and it just makes him really hard to control. So I always play as Mario. Plus, this is my tribute to Mario. I'm going to show you right here. I'm going to try to avoid these things when I can. That right there is a poison mushroom. Now, it's just one of the many things in this game, the many things in this game, that are there to simply screw you over. Looking at this at a quick glance, you would say, oh, it's, this is the real sequel to Super Mario Brothers. It plays exactly like the original does. I think we all know the history by now that the Super Mario Brothers 2 that we got here in America is not the real Super Mario Brothers 2. This is, but it was deemed too difficult for America, which I don't really care for anyone. That coin block back there has got another poison mushroom. It was deemed too difficult, and therefore we never saw it until this compilation, Super Mario All-Stars. Now, the game is difficult, yes. Is it so difficult that, the thought of releasing it to, to us is that incomprehensible? I don't think so, but, because look at that, we just got through 1-1, failed on the flagpole, but whatever. So, in all outward appearances, it seems like it's not that difficult of a game. It is, but it's not. It has this myth about it. It has this legacy of being so overly, insanely difficult. Another aspect is going to be the jumps. You can see, such as this right there. And that's the least of it, believe me. The next thing that's here to screw you over are the jumps, the very distant, the amount of distance that you have to make. There's a lot of moments where you have to jump off of, make a jump toward a pit and accurately land on a Koopa to bounce up. It's a lot of precision jumping. Back there, you've got to hold the run button to get over those platforms. Yes, you could just get on top of the level and go all the way across, but you got to be careful when you do things like that, because another thing in this game that is there to screw you over are reverse warp zones, which I think are funny. That part of it I believe to be kind of funny, because I do not use warp zones. I've said this a million times. I believe that every level of a game is meant to be played, so to skip them is kind of, to me, a sin, if you will. So to have in this game warp zones that are there to screw you over and send you back, I don't even know where they are, to be honest. I mean, I've stumbled across a couple here and there as I've played this game over the years, but let's say you're like in World 4 and you find a warp zone, you think, oh, it's going to shoot me ahead to like World 6 or 7. No, it's going to shoot you backwards to like World 1. As we continue on with the list of screw you moments, we've got bloopers in the air now. Never quite made sense to have an underwater enemy be up in the air, and they just will not go away. Yeah, and they're just there to make your life miserable. You can stomp them, so that is one thing, as opposed to when they're underwater needing fireballs to kill them, at least when they're above ground. Maybe I can do that, just scroll them off. No, they're still there. They're not going anywhere. Yeah, so there's a whole bunch in this game that is here to make your life hell. I've mentioned this before. The All-Stars version is much more bearable and for this reason alone. If you should get a game over, and if you're looking for the original version, the original Famicom version, you can get it from for the Virtual Console on the Wii. But what happens in that version is that, let's say you're here in World 1-4 and you should get a game over in this castle, you're going to get sent back all the way back to World 1-1. Whereas in the All-Stars version, if you get a game over, no matter what level you're on, you're going to restart the game on that exact level. You're not going to... So, as opposed to having to start the whole world over again. I do have the original version on the 8-bit version, and that aspect alone makes it insanely more difficult, because these castles do get very, very difficult, and it's easy to get a game over on them, and then you're sent all the way back to the beginning of the world. So the All-Stars version is more bearable. We're already through World 1, just like that. That was pretty quick. I guess I'll do another world. Why not? I can't guarantee I'm going to do 2 worlds in every video for this game, because I'm not going to minimize it. It will get ridiculously hard. But well, there you go. First death. All right. But I think that things don't really start to get crazy until, even when I was practicing, I got up to World 4 pretty easily, without much hassle. So I guess I'll say that you can at least get up to World 5 or 6 before things really start to get crazy. The other thing about the poison mushrooms in the 8-bit version is that they almost look like 1-ups. They almost look like 1-up mushrooms. Seriously. It's very easy to mistake them. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But springboards in this game shoot you insanely high into the air. That's going to come into play later. That's another aspect that's going to make you want to pull your hair out. Piranha plant, fast piranha plants. These are the normal ones right now, the green ones. We're going to get into some red ones. There's the poison mushroom. Get rid of it. If you do hit that, it's going to harm you rather than help you. There's so much more, but we'll talk about each thing as we come across it. There's just so many things in this game that that are just basically a big fuck you, from the game developers. But no problem so far. Yeah, it's not that bad at first. I think that, as with many things, I think that once a legend or a myth starts and it builds and builds as it's passed on from person to person, that something's made out to be worse than it really is. I think that's the case with this game. It just has this... It's just known throughout the gaming world that this is an insanely difficult game, and it's been built up to the point where it's considered worse than it really is. Don't worry, you're going to see plenty of failure. I guarantee it. It just won't be that bad, I don't think. We'll see. World 8, I know, is a nightmare. Jeez. Holding on to power-ups in this game is pretty difficult. They're usually placed in areas that you can't reach them. I mean, the mushrooms always fall down, but like a fire flower, it'll be up too high so you can't reach it. So you're going to be playing this game as regular Mario, small Mario, whatever you want to call it. I always call it regular Mario because it's when he gets the mushroom, he becomes super. Now you're going to see something like this. Now, you think, what am I supposed to do there? Well, here's another aspect of this game. Hidden blocks. You just, like that. I mean, there was some of those in the original game, but none that you actually needed in order to progress. So it's shit like this, jumping around in the air looking like an idiot trying to find a hidden coin block, stuff like that. I probably could have used him to get up onto here. A lot of places where regular jumps. Yeah, look, that block just randomly there in this horrible place. It's like the constant thought in the game developer's mind was, how can we screw over the player? It's really what it came down to. 2-3, it's, as you can tell by that little intro screen, it's a cheap level, just like in the original game. Surprised that 2-2 wasn't underwater level. You know, so they did switch things up a little bit. Cheap levels in general are pretty simple. I don't recall them being overly difficult in this game. So, coin, I want this, but in this game, oh, I'll tell you that right now. My whole coin obsession, coin fetish, whatever you want to call it. Oh boy, that's gonna take a pause in this game. I can tell you that, because it's just not. See, now that, I mean, I don't consider that to be, you know, a result of this game. I mean, that was just a simple, that could have happened in Super Mario 1, you know, hop off of a Koopa and get knocked into a Cheep. So that's not something that's, you know, that's a mistake or an incident that's not specific to this game. That could have happened in the original, so I can't even call that a, you know, lost levels failure, you know. Yeah, as a kid, I didn't even realize I didn't realize the whole history of this game and the American Mario 2. When I got this compilation, I just figured, oh, there's a bunch of, you know, quote, lost levels that they decided to, as a way of selling this package, you know, otherwise you're just buying the first 3 games that you probably already own. Ouch. So they just, you know, put this in there as a way of making people want to buy the game because it's something new, when in fact it wasn't new at all. There's a way to get a 1-up. They try to do that in the castles because they know that you're going to fail, but then trying to get the 1-up is a pain in the butt. So you're not always going to get it. A lot of the castles are mazes. There's that one in the first game that's a maze. Well, 2 of them technically. There's a lot of those in here. Oh, jeez. Backwards rotating fire sticks. Counterclock. No, well, actually, that's clockwise, isn't it? Anyway, go Bowser. There we go. So, as you can see, the first 2 worlds, not that bad. It's not going to be that easy. I promise you, if you're looking for failure, you're going to see it. I can guarantee it. But until next time, everyone, take it easy. Have a good day. Peace. And our princess is in another castle, so I'll see you for World 3.